All right, Sky Squad, we are back in the building, and we have one of the newest stars of Love and Marriage, Huntsville, in the building with us. We have Miss KEKE. How you doing?
Oh, I am doing a lot of hectic things going on right now. Just trying to, keep on schedule with everything. Filming, home, mom, wife, projects I'm working on. It's crazy. It can get overwhelming sometimes, but it's good overall.
Understandable, understandable. How are you finding balancing filming with like real life?
Oh my goodness. It's most definitely something that I have to learn the ropes to get
Hmm.
better at, just balancing anyway, especially when I have three kids and one, my oldest, is really active in sports. So he has a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff to do there. I have projects that I'm getting ready to push out myself, finally become an author, and so I'm really excited about that. And I have to kind of focus on one thing at a time because I'm so creative and my mind has a lot of ideas and I have so many things that I want to work on and push out. But I can kind of take on too many tasks at one time
Yeah.
and get overwhelmed with them.
No, I definitely understand that. I mean, I feel like that's a lesson I had to learn earlier this year, just having so much going on and then trying to figure out, okay, how do I prioritize what
Right,
comes first, right?
right.
What is the book about? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I have one is a children's book. It's
Okay.
something that my daughter and I wrote together, and we actually wrote it together a few years ago. And I was supposed to publish it, and COVID happened, and so we're past COVID now. So now I'm deciding to go on and push it out. It's called A Special Day to Glow Up, and it's about how little girls just look up to their moms and how they will mirror exactly what
Mm,
we show them because we're where they get their first sense of self-worth and self-esteem from, you
mm.
know. So I just kind of I wanted to make women aware of how much our daughters are looking at us and watching us. So it's just a little cute book
Nice.
about a mommy and daughter's day out. And I
Okay.
also have a book that I'm coming out with a lot of my poetry.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm trying to decide how I want to, what format I want to put that out in.
Okay. Okay. Now, speaking of like this idea of, daughters getting their kind of like impressions of self, from their moms, how will we ever get to see like your mom on the show? Do you think, or would you ever bring your mom on the show? How is your relationship with her at this point?
But my relationship with my mom is great.
Okay.
It's always, well, I wouldn't say always been great because we definitely have our mother daughter rifts.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been a little challenging with me being on the show because my mom gets so worried and up in arms about things that people say. She can't take a lot of the heat the way that I can. It's like she's driving me crazy, getting madder than I get about certain things. It's like, Mama, chill out. It's cool, you know. So we have a great relationship. I would like my mom to, come on to the show so people can kind of see where I get my pizzazz from.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think she's ready.
Okay. That's
She's
fair.
not-
That's fair. Not everybody is meant to be on television in the reality space, right? And so you
Right.
kind of have to respect where they are in that journey. You
Uh huh.
said something about how she kind of um
Okay.
my mom is like this too, and to a certain degree. My mom watches my channel, so I'm always conscious of like what I say and what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I know she's
Right.
watching, right? So when she sees comments that are kind of like negative, I'd be like, I don't pay no attention to like the negative stuff. So how do you deal with the things that people say about you now that you've been on this show?
Oh my God. You know what? And a lot of people might believe that I'm putting on, or this is something I really had to talk to my therapist about, because I know you've heard a lot of the ladies mention that a lot of the comments really got to them, to the point to where, some of the ladies felt depressed, because of some of the mean, evil things that people can say. And I am the complete opposite. I look at people when they're trying to hurt me or down me or say negative things about me, and I really laugh at that. I think it's hilarious, because how can somebody you don't know, that you've never met, and you think that you can tell me everything about my life in the 5 minutes total that you watched on me, of me on reality television? Like,
Mm.
so it's like, for me, the things that people close to me say, oh, those are the things that get to me. But people
Mm.
I don't know, it's like it's a lost cause. They might as well hang it up. If anything, it gives me motivation and inspiration.
That's a healthy way to look at it, because I feel like, I mean, really, that's really what matters. The people who are closest to you. Uh,
Hmm.
Speaking of closest to you, who would you say right now you're closest to on the cast? Like,
Uh,
anybody that you keep in contact with a lot?
Melody and Stormy.
Melody and Stormy. Okay. Okay.
Those are Melody and Stormy. My two riders.
Okay, okay. I could kind of see you and Stormy definitely getting vibing, especially after kind of seeing you kind of navigate your issues throughout the earlier part of this past season. And we know from your, I would say earlier days on the show, we saw you a lot with Melody. Can you, for like, clear up to the audience, and at least for the people that watch my channel, how you first came to be on the show?
Okay, well, first, I've been around for a minute. I would come to different things that Tisha would invite me to. And she's the first one who invited me, to come on to the show.
Okay.
She's the first invite that I accepted, you
Got
know. And so I started going around to things that she invited me to. And then when I felt like it was safe, and I felt like, Melody and Tisha had left off at the reunion on a decent note, that next season, well, before that next season started, Melody called and asked if I'd be interested in joining the cast. I said, absolutely. So in my mind, I thought, great, I'll get to film with Tisha and Melody. And thank God I dodged the bullet, because they agreed to be cordial. They're not beefing anymore. So I thought. um, so that was how I originally got to come onto the show. Well, you know what? Let me say this. Tisha did invite me to partake in a brown girl event that we did for little girls.
Oh, I
Just
remember that.
color, pride and skin color, and
Yeah.
we had a great time doing that. So that was my first, I'll say, speaking role on the show. But when Melody called me and asked me to actually come on as, a member of the show, or a friend of at that time, that was my first official time being invited on by somebody else and having a more permanent role on the show.
Mm. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. How do you what's the biggest difference between that point and where you are now with filming? Because now you're in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
How has that transition been?
um it's been pretty cool. But you mean, how has the transition been in sense of what exactly?
I would say how you are regarded by the rest of the cast. I would
Mm-hmm.
say the audience reception, just any of the things that you've experienced that may have been different from when you had a more, I would say, casual role on the show to now a more prominent role on the show.
You know what? When it was more of a casual role, there wasn't as much pressure. I'll say
Mm.
that. And I didn't have to. I didn't think as hard,
Mhm.
in scenes as I do, just trying to learn the ropes of everything. It was just kind of like, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, and I found myself getting caught up with listening to. Now I do listen to like feedback that people give me when I feel like they're coming from a genuine place.
Right.
You know, so I try to correct certain things that I hear people are saying that I'm getting feedback on. You need to do this or you need to improve on that. And that kind of, it can kind of stifle your flow of just being you. You know what I'm saying? But because you're so nervous about not doing, you're very conscious about not doing what people are saying that you're continuing to do. So it kind of messes up the flow a little bit. I didn't think about it as hard as I do now.
Interesting. That's who are the people that are giving you the feedback? That's the question. Where's the feedback coming? Is it from the audience? Because I can go ahead and tell you, do not change yourself for what the audience thinks, okay? Because the audience, we will think one thing one day, and then we will think another thing tomorrow. So,
oh my goodness, that is so true. The audience is easily swayed.
we are, because it depends on the story and how it's told, right? And then our own, little viewpoints that we bring into the viewing experience. So that's why I always say, don't change. Just do whatever it is that you was already gonna do, and it is what it is. We will adjust.
It's a combination of hearing the audience's feedback, but also friends and family. And when what the audience says is matching up to what your friends and family, people who know you, are saying, then you got to take that, that criticism. You got to listen, and you have to try to improve on things that you're not doing well in.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
If it's across the board the same, then you might want to take a look at that and then sort of evaluate. I get that.
It's difficult because you might have to alter who you are in some ways. Like for instance, I always wonder what my husband would say, especially when we're arguing. Stop making all those crazy faces. And I see me on TV, and my friends and family, they're just like, "You're so animated." And I never noticed, I never knew that I did that much expression and faces until I watched myself back and listened to what people were saying. And I'm like, okay, I need to learn how to. I tend to be very passionate when I speak about things. So I need to learn how to just kind of calm down and bring things down a little bit. My facial expressions, my aura, my my body language and my poise. So that's something I've had to work on, as well as not going into monologues.
Understandable.
Look up for me. I'm a talker. That's what I've always aspired to be.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult for me to not, especially having taught. For some reason, I don't feel like, if I give a lot of detail because I want people to get the full picture and understand exactly what it is that I'm trying to say.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I get that. I'm a talker too. I mean, well, I was about to say you wouldn't know it, but yeah, I was talking too, so I get it. I totally get that. How do you feel like, I mean, because you have been, I would say, especially in the past year, you've been really open about your journey. What has that been like for you? And can you tell us more specifically what it is that you went through? Because for a long time, the internet went crazy trying to figure out what this secret was that was allegedly told to Melody and Martell. Can you talk about it from your viewpoint?
Okay. All right. So this is where I'll start with that.
Okay.
And this is one of those moments where you kind of like stop and think. Don't say too much or don't talk too long. Just find a quick way to get to the point instead of just talking like I know.
Don't feel rushed, because I want people to understand that this is your experience. This is what you went through. and you can take as much time as you want to talk about that.
Okay, thank you for that. So everybody knows that I was very open about my addiction with opioids. It is most definitely not something I thought I'd ever go through. I've never done any kind of drugs, marijuana, in college, but I've never done any other kind of drugs to this day ever. So it's just like, to even go through something like that, especially at the pinnacle of my career. I was 26 years old. I had gotten, 2 master's degrees. I became a college professor at 26 years old, doing things in the community, staple in the community. People look up to me, I'm helping people. And all of a sudden, you see this huge, I can't even call it you see this huge, not even a trample, but like a just cast down, completely broken person, when this used to be a person who had it all together, a role model, someone you could look up to. So all of a sudden I'm faced with this issue, which was one of the most difficult things that I've ever gone through in my entire life. And one of my people that I confided in was who I considered to be my best friend, my sister, my first cousin at the time, Tisha.
Okay.
And I spoke to her about, I think she was the first person that I told that I was willing to say, I think I have a problem with these pills because this is what's happening to my body when I don't have them, and the doctor won't give me any more. She's the first person I think I explained it all to.
Yeah.
So fast forward, after I, go to rehab and everything, they, have this discussion around with different associates and friends.
Okay.
This gets back to me. And that was very difficult to take because at that time I didn't want anybody to know. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed. If I could have just hid and never come out, I would have. That's the only time in my life where I've ever felt like I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. Because I was so far removed from who I thought I was as a person and who I was as a person. It's a very perplexing state to be in during something like that. So to have the closest person to me, one of the closest people to me who I really trusted, with something so gut-wrenchingly difficult to deal with already, to have them kind of exploit it, that was, it was so hurtful. It was extremely hurtful. So fast forward, after all of this happens, she and Mel become closer. Now, me and Mel had never been best friends, ever. But we were associates, and we do have a best friend who is, a mutual best friend.
Okay.
And let me get a little water. Ooh. Okay, so this mutual best friend would notice that Melody was saying things about me and my character, and she would be like, "No, that's not Nikisha. Why do you say that? Why do you think that?" And this was stuff that Tisha was telling her.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that made me feel like some of the things that they said about me, it's almost like they used that to be able to just crucify me, and make me out to be this terrible person that I wasn't, and at heart, especially. It's so difficult to talk about it.
I totally understand. But I do think it gives the viewers a bit more perspective, and to hear it from you, and then B, to also just get a better understanding of where some of this went wrong for you and
Right.
Tisha, And I wanted to ask you, as you were talking, do you think that if she never had mentioned that um, to any of the cast members, that you and Latisha would be in a better place today?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that if that would have never come up, that caused a huge wedge in our relationship. It caused a huge level of distrust. And after that, I couldn't see our relationship the same because I couldn't understand why somebody who I thought loved me, that I loved too so much, I couldn't understand why she would want that information to be known.
Right.
They gave an excuse. To me, the excuse was BS. You know, that's my opinion. It was BS.
Because I have to wonder if, I mean, oh, here's the thing. It's this is a two-part situation because a part of me has to wonder, like, if it was never mentioned, we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even be talking. Would we be talking about this right now? Would anybody have found out? Because a big part of being on reality TV sometimes is people like going through your past and stuff like that. It's a flip of the coin whether or not people would have found out about it. What I will say today, though, is, sometimes we go through things in life, especially the older you get, you realize that there are these situations that will totally break you down, but they are totally meant to build you into a new person. So, sometimes God wants you to, like, he has to stop wherever you were and put you on a different path, but you have to go through X, Y, and Z in order to get there. So I say all that to say that your story can be a testimony to somebody else, because the thing that you said that I did not know earlier was that, oh, the reason you felt like you had an issue was because you were experiencing symptoms when you weren't taking the medication.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
people, that's not even a thought to people usually. Like, what happens when you stop? Oh, that's how you realize that you had a problem.
Yeah.
So I think, in a small way, I feel like what you're doing is huge, because it's like it could save somebody's life.
Absolutely. Honestly, I knew nothing about prescription pain medication.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it.
Most people don't, and you're prescribed it for a reason.
I had some surgeries, some outpatient surgeries at that. Honestly, they could have sent me home with ibuprofen and a strong Tylenol, and I would have been fine. They didn't have to give me, a narcotic. They didn't have to. So that really boggles me why they prescribe things that they don't have to prescribe. There are other medicines that will help ease the pain that these patients are feeling when they have these, types of procedures done.
Yeah.
So I knew nothing about. Oh, I get so agitated when I think about it.
No, I mean, it makes sense. These are good questions to be asking, and I think good things for people to take away from this conversation about what to ask your doctor. Like, do I need this?
And
Is
so
there an alternative?
when my doctor just kind of cut me off, I felt ashamed, so I didn't know how to really verbalize that to him. I didn't know how to really tell him, look, I feel like when I'm not taking this medicine, my stomach hurt real bad, and I'm having these symptoms and I can't really function, and I'm feeling really sick and lethargic. It's something wrong with me. Like, but I noticed that when I take that medicine, I feel much better. 10 minutes after taking it, I feel like myself again, you know? And if I would have known that that medicine was as addictive as it is, I would have never taken it in the first place at
I
all.
understand. I
But
completely understand.
situation to where now I'm ashamed to talk to my doctor about what I'm going through. So I'm like, okay, well, how can I find, how can I get them off the street? I don't know no street people. None of my friends, were street people. We all, in college or college graduates. So I think to myself, okay, well, maybe if I can find the weed man will know, where I can find something. And so I did. I found the weed man, and sure enough, he did know where something was. And I had no idea that it would spiral into what it spiraled into. I thought I'd be safe. At that point, I didn't think I was really addicted. I don't really think I had enough. I knew what addiction was, of course, but I don't think I had enough knowledge to realize in those moments that, girl, what you're doing is becoming addicted, more and more addicted to this substance, more and more dependent on it. You need to seek help now.
Yeah.
Right now. Early on, right now. Go get help now. If I would have known that and done that, I would have erased so much heartache and pain that I have gone through and caused my family and my friends and myself, throughout these years.
How
Just,
how how long was that span of time that you experienced this?
you know what? The first time it was, how old was I? I was right at my 30s. So I might have been like 31, 32. Um, Let me think, because I started working at A&M at 26. So yeah, it was like my early 30s, and it went from my early 30s to like my mid 30s. I'll say about 35, 36, where it became, by that time I had been, doing it in secret for that many years. And
Mm.
of course, after that many years, you start getting intertwined with people that you don't need to be mingling with, and all kind of, and it's bad when even you go in these certain environments, and even the person selling you the stuff and the people there are telling you, you don't even look like you belong over here.
Mm.
That spoke volumes to me. Like when the person selling it tells you, girl, get yourself together. You don't supposed to be over here. You ain't like us. Not saying that us is a certain
No,
way.
I get it. I get it. I get
Is
it.
we're all equal. But that I felt ashamed, to go around them because of that as well.
Wow.
It's just like it's so many. I am glad that my story got out, because my purpose is I didn't go through all that pain for nothing. I want to help as many people as I possibly can dealing with these issues. Stop people who could possibly face these issues one day. I want to help as many people as I can, because I did not go through all of that and learn all of that for nothing. It's not for naught. And I am going to help people. And I have been trying to help people. Women reach out to me, and that's the greatest part about it all. Women reach out to me, and I help them find resources, talk them through things, and they're elated that someone can just understand, because so many people are so judgmental and they just don't understand.
Hmm.
And people talk a lot of talk, and they say a lot of things until it's them in that situation. This situation, if it didn't teach me anything else, it taught me to never say never.
Okay. Like, trust me, I know life will hand you some things, and it will change how you operate and how you think.
Absolutely.
Um, so you've had this to deal with on the show, and you've dealt with it, and I feel like as it has come out, you have
Mhm.
really dealt with it in a positive way. Now, I do have to ask you about something else that may kind of be touchy, and so you let me know if you can talk about it.
Okay.
Not in the context of what I got to bring it up, because we saw it in the mid-season trailer, right? The
Hmm.
first thing we see was this Crime Stoppers video, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm gonna save any reactions or fallouts you have from the cast. But since Crime Stoppers was already out, I can
Uh-huh.
ask you what happened.
Oh my God. I want to tell so bad
But you can't. Oh.
what happened. I have lawyers, and they have really reprimanded me for some of the things that I've said that
Okay.
I shouldn't have said. But I'm so hasty because when you know what happened, you just want to tell. You just want the truth to be out. That's
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I have to have some patience in this matter, and I ask that everyone else have patience, with me as well,
That's
as
fine.
we kind of navigate this, because they are a big company, and you have to be careful. And because of my lawyers, I can't speak on the matter, but I can say that one day I will be fully vindicated. I can say that.
Okay. So for anybody watching, what we can gather, and let me speak on this, is that
Okay.
what we can see is that you have a team of attorneys who are working with you on your behalf to clear and rectify this situation. That's what
Yes,
we can take away from this conversation. Okay,
absolutely.
that's fair. That is absolutely fair. At least for me, I feel like we know that it didn't just stop at what we saw.
Right. I mean, and it's like, come on now. There's no looking for me in Huntsville. I'm right here in the wide open. Okay. Right here in the wide open. If anybody wanted to find me, they could find me very easily.
You know what I love about you on the show? I actually love that you are outspoken. I really don't ever know what you're gonna say or do.
Me either. Tell me about it. Me either.
So, with that being said, I know that you said that you're closest right now to Melody and Stormy. Um, wh- I did interview with LATISHA, but I did that in January, right?
Mhm.
So at that point, when I talked to her, I said, "What's up with you and Keke?" And I think I remember her saying, "Oh my God, well, we're working on our relationship."
Mhm.
So then fast forward weeks later, I see the midseason trailer and I see, oh wait, I think that's going sour.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
and to you, what is the disconnect with you two now? You ain't got to tell us everything that happened, but like what's the disconnect? Because at first I thought it was something that maybe happened when you guys grew up, and then now I know from our conversation today that a big part of it was also the revealing of this information that
Mhm.
you felt like was personal to you. But beyond that, as we've moved forward, it's quite a bit. Where is the disconnect for you? And then also, do you think that Marceau contributes to that disconnect?
Um. Ooh. There are so many layers. To me and Letitia's to our relationship. So many layers. In order to help anyone understand it, we'd be here for weeks. You know. Um. I can tell you there is a lot of love there. We do love each other very much, but for some reason, there's a disconnect. And there always has been.
Mm,
Always. We have tried to be best friends ever since I entered into her life at 13. From 13 up until, recently, we have tried our best to be best friends. And for some reason, we just always have conflict. I have other friends. I never have any conflict with them. She has other friends. She doesn't have any conflict, but she and I, there's always conflict. And I believe maybe because we love each other so much on a personal level that we're easily offended by one another.
mm,
Because you know, it's your feelings are there.
yeah.
Oh, if she does something to me, it's like, okay, well, I expect this from this person. I don't expect that from you. You know? So I think that could be a part of the disconnect. It's just that our feelings are too heavily involved in our relationship and we don't see eye to eye enough for us to have a steady, healthy relationship. That's one.
Mm.
Do I believe that Marceau is a part of the disconnect? I believe that he is the disconnect and has been for the past 3 years. Yeah. Now I go further than that. He has been at least for the past 5 years. He is the disconnect, 100%.
Why do you feel that way? And do you feel like it's because of the show? Because I mean, that would be around maybe the same time that the show kind of was either picking up steam or like starting.
Um, it was actually it started before the show. Now Marceau and I, although we have always butted heads, because he's very outspoken and so am I. He thinks he knows everything, and so do I. So we've always bantered, gone back and forth, and had these heavy debates and disagreed, but there was a genuine love there. He was like my brother, my bro. I would call him, get advice from him. We would talk, and there was this respect there. He respected me, and I respected him. And I believe that got lost in translation somewhere along the line. And his relationship, when me and his relationship soured, then he started to cause me and Tisha's relationship to sour even more, if that makes sense. He inserts himself into too many things that he just shouldn't. For example, I'm on the phone and one night with her, and I'm crying my eyes out, because I'm frustrated with where we are, and I hate that things have happened, and I just won't change, yada yada yada. And he's in the background. Next thing I know, he takes the phone from her. Look, we're never gonna apologize again. We're never apologizing again. This was over them spreading that information. We're never apologizing again. First of all, he's never apologized at all, and he was the main culprit in the situation. I just didn't appreciate Tisha allowing it and not checking it and stopping it in that moment.
Gotcha.
And like I said, to tell me this lame excuse about, anyway, he just completely flipped on me and became a much different person from the brother that I knew. Yeah. I don't recognize this Marsaau at all. He's a completely different character, and I don't respect this Marsaau either. So for him to take the phone from her and then he and I get into a screaming match, he should not have been involved in that. And I also feel like it goes back again. She should not have allowed that to take place. Period. There's no way my husband can come in and take the phone from me if I'm on an important call with her where she's really pouring her feelings and her heart out to me. And he come just take the phone and I let that happen? Absolutely not. You're out of place. And, when I talked to her the next day, I said, you know what? I got a little emotional, last night. Sorry about that. Because at that point, I felt stupid for even opening up and sharing my feelings. And she was like, yeah, don't let that happen again. Okay. I won't. And I haven't since. So, I believe wholeheartedly that he has controlled her actions, thoughts toward me for the last few years, 100%. He's encouraged and instigated us, driving a wedge between us instead of us mending fences. And it's unfortunate. It really is.
I mean, because you guys are family at the end of the day.
Right.
Do you have any contact with Miss Wanda? Like, how are you guys at this point?
I do not. I saw her this weekend at Stormy's party, which was a great party. When I tell you it was a party of the century.
I heard.
Amazing time. Stormy threw an amazing party. I can't wait till y'all get to see it. It was so dope. It was so dope. I did see her, and we were cordial in that space, but no more than cordial. There have been too many things said and too many lies told for me to ever feel like I can fully even trust her enough to even have a conversation with her again.
Yeah.
When people do certain things to you, it's like, I mean, you can do a lot of stuff, but when you're trying to purposely go to the gutter to hurt me, and I haven't done anything to you. I haven't said anything negative about you. Maybe throw a little shade, but it's because you did it first, you know. So I respond, and you go gutter on me to the gut, and then tell and make up lies on me. I can't get with that. So yes, I can speak. I can say, hey, how you doing? Yeah, we partying. Yeah, what's up, girl? All right. See you later, girl. That's it. And that's
Well,
unfortunate.
it is unfortunate because I think that, there will come a time where, the years go by,
Mhm.
I just feel like we all want to make sure that it's family at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's really at some point, sometimes all we have when it's all said and done. So I just hope that you guys can get back on the right path with that.
I don't know. I don't know if we ever will. I just, that's one of those situations. I just have to, I have to give to God, because I know that a lot of people, because of the way that I've been portrayed and people believing certain things and having certain opinions, a lot of people probably believe that I'm like this shady cousin, right? And that couldn't be further from the truth and who I am. The very essence of me, and the people in my life, my best friends, everybody who knows me, they know that. And so they're getting frustrated with the way that certain people are trying to make me out to be, because they know who I am and they know I'm a good person. And I also feel like the disconnect between me and Tisha these last few years is like she's allowed him to warp her mind so much that she doesn't even know who I am anymore. You accuse me of trying to ruin your marriage, girl. You should know I would never, ever do anything like that. You've never known me to do anything like that to anybody, let alone my cousin who I've been best friends with all this time. I've never wanted anything more than to see her happy and smiling and winning and him treating her right. That's all I've ever wanted to see, ever. And
Mm.
that's why I've pushed and encouraged her along the way, to come to college, to do this, to, do that. I've always pushed and motivated her to be better, always. And I just believe that when I had my downfall, they put me a lot deeper than I even went.
Mm.
And that's difficult to take. It's difficult to take somebody who you thought really knew you and then listen to the things that they say and believe now and be like, you don't know me at all. It's really that much of a disconnect. You can't possibly know me. I would never do some of the low down and shady things that they've accused me of. Did I come on the show because Mel invited me? Absolutely. But I ran straight and told her. And, she didn't seem happy or enthused about it. And, I'm like, hey, let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's do this together. And, and she's like, well, you know, what is that supposed to make me feel like?
Mm.
I get asked a question, and in that moment, I hesitate because I want to make sure that I don't say anything that is damaging or anything that she'll be mad at. So I craft the best answer I can in my head, like, of course, they've experienced rumors. Of course, these aren't the first rumors, but she's never found any of those rumors to be true.
Mm.
And I'm trying to tear down their whole marriage. And I'm going against them. No, I never tried to go against you. I wanted to come on and do this with you.
Mm.
But you made up this false narrative that I was coming on to try to tear down your relationship. And y'all did all of that because y'all were really mad that I was talking to Mel. And I wouldn't stop talking to her. But my thing is this. How, and this is why that whole thing came up about you told Mel my business. I wasn't on any get back at all. And that's genuinely 100% honest. I was not. Neither did I want anything negative to come from that situation. I was simply saying, how are you going to get mad at me for saying a simple statement when you really told her deep, dark things about me?
Mm.
And you get mad at me for saying something so simple and I didn't tell any information? And you know I wasn't trying to be shady or, give any information. How dare you? That's how I felt. How dare you? You told the biggest, deepest, darkest secret I had. And I make a statement that you don't like, and I'm this big bad person trying to come against you. And from there, they came out against me. And I've tried a million and one ways, Richie Skye, to try to make amends, try to make it work. I'm done. I'm tired. And when you see that drink being tossed, I'm not proud of that moment. You just see it was not a TV moment. You see somebody who's just frustrated of dealing with this freaking situation. Stop blaming me for things. Stop creating these narratives and making me out to be somebody that I'm not. Stop. You can't possibly know me. You can't. And I'm sorry, it's just frustrating.
No, I can see that. And I mean, I feel like I can't wait to see how things play out. And my hope is that hopefully at that point, when the episode does air, we can have you back on to kind of really explain your mindset and things that have happened throughout the season. Because I feel like we will have some more questions for you.
Hey, stay tuned because you're in for a whole lot more.
Oh, we will definitely be stay tuned. I want to say I do think that while you're writing books, I think that you should definitely write a book about your story. Because I do think that it can help a lot of people. I think it's going to help people who listen to it when they hear this interview. But I just think that seeing it or reading it in your own words, I just felt like even I was like, as you were talking about your experiences, I was just like, oh my God, like this needs to go into something. Like you need to be speaking at places about this. So I hope that you
right. That's what I want to do. I'm trying to get my voice out there. I do have my first speaking event coming up in Delaware in September, so I'm excited.
Congratulations! Yes, I mean, I like that.
I've always wanted to speak and write. That's my passion, So I didn't go on any TV show to be messy. I went on the TV show to try to garner a platform so that I can do what my life's dreams are, to reach out and help as many people as I can. Just learn how to live life because it can be difficult. And I feel like we all need each other so much, and if we could just stop being so critical, so, mean and angry and come together in love. I just don't understand for the life of me why we can't do that. But, I guess everybody has some healing to do in their own lives. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help people heal. And I'm trying to heal myself.
Well, I think you are on the right path. I want to say thank you for talking with us today. Can you tell everybody where they can find KEKE online?
Yes, sure. Hey, you guys, you can find me on Instagram at KEKE Jabbar, KEKE JABBAR, and you can find me on Facebook at Nikishia Dawson Jabbar.
All right. Well, I will put that information down in the description so they can follow you. They can know where to get all your stuff as it comes to fruition, as it comes out, and as you're going out on your speaking engagements. We can be there to support you. KEKE, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure with you as well. I love you. I watch you all the time.
Thank you.
I absolutely love your platform. I love the job you're doing. Keep it up. Keep it up. I look forward to seeing you growing and doing even more amazing things.
Thank you. I can't wait to do them either. Skye Squad, stay tuned for more. Keke, thank you once again, and we will catch you all in the next video.